Good morning. It's December 10th, 2025, and in this video I would like to talk about the two covenants, the Old Covenant and the New Covenant. Now, why is it that Israel claimed to be the chosen people? So much so that they can get away with the most treacherous acts against all the rest of humanity. Well, if you've read the Bible, then you know that in the Old Testament, time and time again, God defeated Israel's enemies. And God provided Israel with some physical tools. Because God will answer us according to our idols. And Israel, being rescued from Egypt, only knew conceptually how to understand with idols, through idols. As that's the way they lived for over 500 years as slaves. And so, in order for God's plan to be fulfilled, which the Messiah came through the line of, the Messiah came through the line of Israel. And because Satan knew that, he wanted to destroy Israel at every cost. And so, because Jesus needed to come and fulfill God's will, God gave an extra attention to keeping Israel alive. Well, Satan, thinking he could be smarter than God, decided to beguile Israel using their old proven tactics and tools of idolatry, and ideologies. It wasn't hard. Even after 40 years of being taught something different, it wasn't hard to get them to sell their souls to the devil. Regardless, when Jesus was born and fulfilled his mandate on this earth, he brought in a new covenant. And that new covenant made the old covenant null and void. Because it was a better covenant. Not a covenant based on the blood of bulls and goats and other humans, but a covenant based on grace. And it was God's self in the body of Jesus Christ that fulfilled that mandate. And there's nothing that can unfulfill it. It's finished. But we live under a manipulation in which the old covenant is being pedestaled as reality, but it is not the reality. And I would like to read from the book of Matthew, chapter 21. Matthew 21. Starting in verse 28. Parable of two sons. What do you think? A man had two sons. Now he came to the first son and said, Son, go and work in the vineyard today. No, I don't want to, he replied. But later he changed his mind and went. The father said the same thing to the other son, who replied, Yes, sir. but he didn't go. So he lied. Jesus said to them, I assure you that tax collectors and prostitutes are entering God's kingdom ahead of you. For John came to you on the righteous road, and you didn't believe him, but tax collectors and prostitutes believed him. Yet even after you saw this, you didn't change your hearts and lives, and you didn't believe him. So, why do you suppose the example uses tax collectors and prostitutes as getting a graceful measure in God's kingdom? I mean, what made them different? Was it maybe because they weren't living according to God's will or to the betterment of their own person? Maybe they were living according to the devil's temptations and thirst for what do you call it? Prestige and honor. The kind of prestige and honor that only God should have, because we're all fallen here. We're all come short of the perfect glory of God. And pride will make us even shorter. Verse 33. Listen to another parable. There was a landowner who planted a vineyard. He put a fence around it. He dug a wine press in it and built a tower. Then he rented it to tenant farmers and took a trip. And when he came for harvest, he sent his servants to the tenant farmers to collect his fruit. But the tenant farmers grabbed his servants. They beat some of them, and some of them they killed. Some of them they stoned to death. Again, he sent other servants, more than the first group. They treated them in the same way. Finally, he sent his son to them. They will respect my son, he said. But when the tenant farmers saw the son, they said to each other, this is the heir. Come on, let's kill him, and we'll have his inheritance. They grabbed him, threw him out in the vineyard, and killed him. And when the owner of the vineyard comes, what will he do to those tenant farmers? They said, he will totally destroy those wicked farmers and rent the vineyard to other tenant farmers who will give him the fruit when it's ready. And Jesus said to them, haven't you ever read in the scriptures, the stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone? The Lord has done this, and it's amazing in your eyes. Therefore, I tell you that God's kingdom will be taken away from you and will be given to people who produce its fruit. Whoever falls on this stone will be crushed, and the stone will crush the person it falls on. Now when the chief priests and the Pharisees heard this parable, they knew Jesus was talking about them, and they were trying to arrest him, and they were angry, but they feared the crowds who thought he was a prophet. Well, that's all I have for this morning. Have a great day.